people than I thought there would be. I thought everybody left, but you guys stuck around. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Nate. Thank you for being here, Nate.
Thanks. Yes. It's 2:58. Oh, we got 2 minutes. Okay.
You're standing.
I actually have something I want to give you.
What? You have something I think that's a what now?
I have something I want to give you.
What is it?
I made this for you last week.
Oh, okay. Is this like a spreadsheet? Does this have
Yeah, this references from some of your videos.
Oh, cool. It's got all my stuff on there. Thank you very much.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Oh
Dual-wheeled water. I'm actually going to try this.
They probably just figured Dookie'd be sitting up there with you.
He had his panel.
He had his time.
You had your time.
You're
crazy.
That's a dual-wielding roast. So hi everybody, how's everyone today?
Good.
Right. Cool, very cool. Everyone in this room know who I am already?
Yeah.
So I don't need to explain anything. Who am I? Wait, who asked? Oh, someone over here. You, this guy. Hey, I used to make videos with you. So, hello everybody. My name is Nate Smith. I'm also known on YouTube as NateWantsToBattle. I hope you all are having a good time, and thank you again for sticking around. I woke up today and I looked all around, and I'm just like, God, everybody left. They're all gone. Even guests all gone. Well, Matt's still here. Matt Mercer's on that. Because Matt Mercer is love Matt Mercer's life. But that's a different thing. You know, we could totally like make that a panel and have them on it. And we could be in the middle of like
You're great.
You're dreaming. Did anyone go to the panel last night that had Matt and Jessica? I did. It was so great. It was so
hilarious. The 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah.
Shades of
Oh
Grey.
my God. Yeah, Levi and Haji reading 50 Shades of Grey. Oh
Yeah.
it was great.
And I didn't even know what 50 Shades of Grey was.
Oh yeah. And at a certain point, they're just like, this sucks. Who reads this? And I'm just like, so million whatever. So anyway, let me take a sip of this water. So, usually how I do this is I plan a few stories to tell ahead of time. But I didn't plan anything. Which is usually how the better panels go. I think there's enough people in here that we can have good panels. But I wanna get, because what I like to do, a lot of people do their panels. So I'll sit down, first thing, and I'll take questions. I like to have fun. So what we're gonna do is I need people to get excited. So the first thing we're gonna do is y'all recording and pay attention too, because you're gonna be involved. Okay, so we're gonna start with a wave. Okay, so we're gonna start on this side. You guys are starting a wave, by the way, so you need to get ready. So you're starting a wave, and we're gonna go all the way to the right, and y'all too. So I hope they know the wave.
I definitely know.
Okay,
I hope so.
Okay, I hope so. You guys are starting the wave. You gotta get ready.
Now when they get to you lift your arms up.
No, take your picture. Go ahead. You're good. Okay, we're gonna start this wave out there. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Bring it over. Now bring it back. Yeah! Done. Nailed it. Oh my goodness! Oh no, the feels. Speaking of which, I have a Kingdom Hearts song coming out that's specifically about 358.
I don't know. I haven't seen them.
It's actually on an album that I actually just announced this the other day on Twitter. I haven't done it on YouTube yet. So I have an album coming out on Tuesday. If any of y'all are interested, it has all my original stuff that's already been on there. So like Mangle, the other Five Nights at Freddy's song, Misty, Done on the Third Day, Monster Inside. It's also got 3 acoustic tracks of some of those songs. There's Acoustic Mangled, which came out very sexy, I must say. missed the acoustic no more. It's got 2 new songs. Like I said, one of them is a Kingdom Hearts song, and one of them is another Five Nights at Freddy's song that comes out on YouTube next week. Oh, people like my stuff. It's great. Yeah, so that's coming out, and I'm really excited. Pre-orders are supposed to start today, but it's not on iTunes yet, and I'm starting to get concerned. So I need to be like, hey, so I know I'm not Justin Bieber, but if you could like tune, then that'd be great. Yeah, so I can open up with some questions if anybody has one.
You're better than Justin Bieber.
I feel like some hands shot up, and then they. Okay, yes, you sir.
What's your favorite parody that you've written and why?
Favorite parody of like other people's songs and stuff, not including my originals, right? Because for the parodies and stuff, gosh, there's a lot, and I try to have a lot of fun with all of them. I would say, honestly, as of late, just because filming it was so fun, I'd say Spinning Around That Bass was a lot of fun.
Yes!
I really like that one because like sometimes I try to do like more serious stuff. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'll dress up as a rocket grunt and then like dance around. Like, it's a lot of fun.
The faces you made in that video were priceless.
There's been vines all over about your faces.
Oh my god, there are like 50 gifts from that video.
You don't want to see the Tumblr tags. Never.
But no, that one was a lot of fun. Favorite parody I did was probably that one, just because it was so fun to do. That or my Attack on Titan parody. For Poppy. Just because I actually got to like go to a location and like film and stuff like that. It's one of the few videos where I actually like went outside the film. So I was like, oh my god, it's hot out here.
Yeah.
But no, it was a lot of fun. I got to shoot with my friend Joey, who's another local YouTuber, Uncut Hash Brown, who's really cool. And he did a great job helping me film it, and I think we both came out with something that we're really proud of. So probably those 2 for sure. Thank you for your question.
Well, good luck on move to LA.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hunter, what is your question?
Hunter has a question.
Hunter, what is your question?
Is it GIF or GIF?
Okay.
Do you want
I said GIF forever, and then the guy who like made it said it's GIF.
So he's wrong though.
It's
I kind of whiffle waffle. I flip flop.
You always heard it.
It's yes.
For a little while, I had a phase of saying GIF, and then I was just like, I just want peanut butter. I have to go with GIF so I don't like get that association. Because I'm trying to better myself as a human, eat a little cleaner, and peanut butter is not going to do me any favors there. So I'm just like, I'm going to go back to GIF. So anyway, who else had a question? Right. Why the move to LA? The move to LA, it's one of those things where like, technically what I do is in entertainment, and LA is just kind of like the entertainment capital of America and stuff like that. All the other YouTube people live there. There's a bunch of people like that, like just online that live over there. That in my week over there, I got to like meet. Mine bros are cool. But there's a lot of people who like I know like just through Twitter and YouTube and stuff that live in LA, and I visited there for a week and I got to like actually be with them IRL, and it's just constantly like people who do what I do, and I'm just like surrounded by them. So I'm just like, yeah, I need to get over there. That's the place to be. And the weather too. I hate humidity. I hate going outside. And even here, we went to what was the place we went to last night? It was Player One. We went to Player One last night, and the walk from the hotel to the car, and we sit down. I'm just like, well, now I'm wet. Like, great. So, and then we were frothy.
If you think, I gotta tell you, Nate, if you think Infinity is bad down here, prior JV station previously in Gulfport, Mississippi, go live there for 4 years, and then you tell me how bad you hate Infinity.
No.
I was there. I would know. You think it's bad down here. This is nothing.
But thank you for the offer. Thank you for your service, man. That's amazing.
I did what I could. No hero, man.
But yeah, just that's where everyone is. Like we were there for a week. I got to hang out at like the Grum's office.
Yes.
And I was just like, yeah, I should just be here all the time. But it was just like there's so much opportunity out there and stuff like that. Like and there's so many people like I meet at cons, and then they're just always trying to sell LA to me. And I'm just like, I'm just moving there now. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, we're really looking forward to hanging out with Matt Mercer on this, but he's been like super busy at this. But then he's just like, you're moving to LA. I'm like, yeah. It's like, okay, we'll just be neighbors. So it's I'm pretty sure we're gonna be walking distance from Time Havercorn because we're super close. And like I know there's a bunch of people who I know through. I have a friend of mine who I stay with who's also my network manager, and I just stayed with him, and he's like, yeah, I'll introduce you to this person, that person. Like I know one of my neighbors is gonna be Xander, the voice of the Smash Bros announcer.
Yes!
True. But there's just so many people who's just like he's like, oh, our friend's coming over. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Who is he? He's going to be in Teen Wolf this summer. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So just like, yeah, everyone here does cool stuff. I'm like, all right, I want to be there because here we're just like, well, cons and those are fun. But, it's like it's the land of opportunity. Follow your dreams and don't broke try. But yeah, that move's happening. Week and a half. Very excited. Thank you for asking, by the way. It's so many people. Everyone I've seen here, everyone's just like, people are moving to LA, moving to LA. And I'm just like, wow, people actually listen to me when I say stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm still under the mindset where I'm just like, I'm gonna put out a music video, that's what people are gonna see. I'm gonna say anything else, no one's gonna care. I'd be like, I don't care where you live, I don't care what you do, you just put out music and I will ignore everything else. But it's cool that people like actually go like above and beyond and like, you know stuff about my personal life that like, I mean, obviously I'm throwing the details out there on the internet, so it's just like, how did you know that? It's just really cool that like, people actually care that much, which is why I like make any kind of update about it, because like obviously you guys watch, so like the state of my life, if it affects making videos, it's gonna affect the channel, and thus now it's awesome. Alright, cool. Yeah, it's just awesome that people don't care. What's that question? I told you.
She finally found the actual gift for you, but I also forgot I had a gift for you, so.
No.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna tell him something.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you. Bring it in. Thank you. Look at the little mantle. He's like, kill you. I was like, oh. Yes, right here, son.
Which opening, which cover of favorite?
Anime opening?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because a lot of times when people ask me what's your favorite and then they say what kind of video, I'm like, well, this one was most fun to record the music, but this one was most fun to shoot. But I think just based on the song itself, probably the Parasite opening. That or Crossing Fields. Both of those were a lot of fun. Yeah, I did know. I think video-wise, I really love filming Core Pride from Blue Exorcist, which is one that a lot of people didn't really watch because it's not like the biggest anime in the world. It was a lot of fun. It was fun to film because like, who in yours watched Blue Exorcist? A few people. I love Bruno Kumara. I think he's such a fun, cool character. Like it's.
Speaking of friends,
I should cosplay him, right? I basically did for my video, but yeah, it was just cool. That was a lot of fun film because it was like a fun song, so I got to have like more like fun with it. That or it's not an anime opening, but my cover of Still Alive from Portal.
Yeah, so good.
I have a lab coat, and I get to do stuff. It's like for science. So,
Science.
basically, you can assume the ones where I look like I'm having fun are the ones that I had fun with. So, that is that. Who else has something? Right here.
Across all Nuzlocke that you've ever done, which Pokemon lost has been the hardest?
I think it was probably in my Black 2 randomizer. It was probably Bowser. Because he was my first catch where I'm like, this thing is viable. This thing can help me. And I also love Sand Slash's design. So I I got emotionally invested in him, and then I was stupid enough to lock myself into a rollout. And then I was just, so it was one of those things where it wasn't even like, it wasn't a random crit, or it wasn't something I wasn't expecting him to have. It was just something where he was locked in. I'm like, I have to sit here and slowly watch him die. All I can do is hope that he misses. And I'm like, okay, last turn, he's at 2 HP. All he has to do is miss, lands it. I'm like, well, rip and kill Bowser. And also, it hurt more because Bowser is also my dog's name. So I was just like, oh god, there's so many layers of emotions. I am just a mess. That was the hardest one to deal with. The most unexpected one was losing my Starmie to a lava snow. And it was one of those things where like the second it happened, I sat there, I'm just like, because like then the lava snow died of recoil, so I'm just like, and then I look back on it, I'm just like, I should have expected that. That was my own fault. So it was one of those things where I was just so thrown off because like it happened so fast. It was just like, oh, I missed dead, both are dead, clear field. I'm just like, where'd everyone go? Yeah. So those were the two major deaths that or it wasn't my death. It was your death in the Wonderlot. It was
My Tyranitar.
It was Impact.
Infect!
Rip in peace, Impact.
Because I kept it out against a fighting type.
Because it's one of those things. The best Nuzlocke death moments are the ones prefaced with the phrase, "What does death?" Because we were just sitting there, and we were kind of toward the end of the episode, and it was one of those things where we were like, kind of like, our energy was like kind of bad, so we were just chilling, like, oh, we're just playing, whatever. And then he goes, revenge. What does that do? He's like, no. You're just like ripping kids. Who else has a question? I haven't done much over here. Yeah. So basically, it's changed a lot this year because I made an update video saying I'm basically going to be like outsourcing just to like up my quality and up my frequency. So I started working with a producer who's way better at like mixing and mastering, and I've been working with people who like have a lot of cool animations and stuff like that. But if it's like a parody or something, then I kind of need like a creative that's something I can work on. Because basically, I need to find a song that I think will work parody. And then I need to listen to the hook of the song and think, how can I turn that around to something like video game related, something like I was listening to Love Runs Out by One Republic, and it was during the time when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were announced. Everyone was like getting pumped, and I'm just like, oh, everyone's waiting until Hone's out, which kind of sounds like Love Runs Out. So that's kind of the hook I go off of to kind of build lyrics upon that. So it's basically just like, is this something where like the one line can stick? Like all about that bass. Like, spinning around that bass. Oh, Team Rocket. I can make a song about Team Rocket. That'll be fun. And then I record all my stuff from scratch, like 99% of the time. Because like before I was ever doing YouTube or anything like that, I was big into like music production. I love writing music. I love using a whole bunch of different audio software to like make it happen with like programming drums, bass, recording guitar. I was never too big on like the way I always put it is I was less into consuming, like taking in other people's music and more creating. I just found it more rewarding to actually make something. And it's always music that I make music that I myself will listen to. I don't make music that I think other people will listen to. I make music that I myself will listen to. You can ask him. I got a new cover back the other day and I've been listening to it all weekend just because I'm genuinely like, oh, I love how this sounds.
We love the sound of your own voice.
It's actually not. It's everything but the sound of my own voice. That I just kind of tolerate, but like I love recording. Like I'm a little bit of a metalhead at heart, so I love writing a good breakdown. It's always a ton of fun to do. I just love stuff like that. So then I'll program the drums to basically play like what it would be if I had a real drum set, because I don't, even if I did, my neighbors would hate me more than they do. I So I'm just like,
I wonder if this is pissed anyone off.
but nothing yet, and I'm moving, so I haven't.
No cops have knocked on the door yet.
Oh, thank goodness.
Programming drums and just instrumentals that like, I would listen to, and then I record my vocals over it to basically like it's those things where like if an artist I liked making this, you know, how would they do it? How can I kind of do it in my own way as well? It's basically like how can I make music that I like? And that's a really big part of it. And I think that applies to like any kind of creative process, not just like music making. If you're making videos, whether it be like let's plays or you're doing countdown videos or you're doing anything like that. If you're making anything that's some sort of creative form of entertainment, it needs to be something that you like. You need to be able to go back and look at your own content and be like, if I didn't know who I was, would I watch this? That way, if you can look at that unbiased and be like, yes, I think that's good. I think total strangers would get a kick out of that. Then you have something that's worth watching and sharing. And I think that's a huge aspect that people leave behind. I think people just kind of make something for the sake of making something, not because they're like truly passionate about it and think like, I do this because I love it and I think other people will love it, rather than like, I do this just because you have to love what you do. That's a big thing. And I feel like I probably just tackled the question someone had, because like a big question I always get is like, what advice do you have for what are you doing?
There's really loud music coming in, so.
You gotta just call me sir.
Were you just like, right? A lot of people ask me like, what's some advice you have for people up and coming, whether it's like any kind of creative entertainment or YouTube or whatever. The biggest thing is just like, make something you love and make something you're genuinely proud of. Like, I'll admit, I go back and I watch my own videos and I listen to my own stuff the whole time because I'm making stuff that, like, if someone else were making it, other people make stuff similar to what I make. I watch that too. Like, I like nerdy stuff. I like anime. I like video games and stuff. And I also love music. Other people make music about it. I listen to that. So I do that too. So that's kind of the creative process in a big webby jumble, not specific order. If that made any kind of coherence.
It makes sense.
Do you play your own instruments?
Yes. All the instruments that I don't play are just because I don't own them. So, like I said, I don't have a drum set, so I just program a drum set and I send it off to my producer, who I work with, who can take the MIDI. It's called a MIDI file of the drum set. And it's basically like, you ever hear drums in a song that just sound like super like cheap? They'll be like, ding, ding, ding. Yeah. He's able to take the she knows about it. But it's one of those things where he's able to take the cheap sounding stuff and like rework it so it sounds like real big explosive snares, big crashes and stuff like that. And then things like guitar and obviously vocals or stuff like that as well. And then like if there's something where I'm like, this song could use a mandolin. Like I did an old cover. I covered the Luigi's Mansion theme, and I wanted mandolin in it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna order a mandolin. I'm just gonna learn to play the part and learn how to play it and record it, and then that's all the mandolin I know. Like, it's basically just like, they're like, oh, you play mandolin. I'm like, I played mandolin for one song. And people are always like, how do you get good at ocarina? Or like, how do you learn ocarina? I'm like, I learned the notes I wanted, I recorded it, and then I put the ocarina down. So it's kind of so yes. Sure, no, sir, right here.
Okay, so strangest fan encounter, like here at the expo or just in general?
Let me tell you about a man named Strat.
Oh no!
If you were at the Nate Newbie panel last night, you already heard this story.
Yes.
I'll try to paraphrase it. But we're at this random convention. I was on that. The con is totally different.
Baron
We're at this con in Tyler, Texas, of all places, which I hadn't even heard of. But we're hanging out in one of the guest rooms. We're hanging out with Jeremy Inman, who's the voice of Android 16 from Dragon Ball Z, who is, by the way, one of the coolest humans ever. He's so funny. And he plays like the best character on the reels. He's like the best character ever. But we're hanging out in his room, and it's a couple of the other voice actors. And then this guy walks up to the room, and he did that thing. And I said all this last time. But basically, it's one of those things where, like, if you're at a convention or you're at like a concert, if you look the part, if you look like you're part of staff or like guests, and you kind of carry yourself in a way that shows it, a lot of times people will just let you go wherever, because they'll assume you're part of it. Like back in the day, I don't do this anymore because this is wrong. But back in the day, when I used to go to concerts and stuff, like I looked and dressed like a lot of bands I listened to, and I was a musician and I knew a lot of stuff about like the band scene, so I just carried myself in a way that looked like I was part of the band. And I would walk up to the backstage door of security, and they would look at me, and before they asked for a pass, I'd be like, "Is this where bands get water?" And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I got one in." And I just walk back there and be like, "Well, here I am." Just to say I did it. It would work every time. And I'm just like, they really kind of locked down on this. I felt like it's like in Archer when they're trying to log into the ISIS mainframe and they're like, guest? Accept it. You gotta be kidding. But anyway, this guy walks up to the hotel room and he like walks up and the door's like propped up because everyone's just kind of hanging out. He just walks in and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I'm just like, he just walks in, and then like 10 minutes after him being in there, he walks up, he's a little bit tipsy, so he's just kind of losing. He walks up, he's like, "Hey man, I saw your performance, and I just want to say, I'm a huge fan. You are amazing." I was very flattered. He was very nice. He was very complimentary. And as the night went on, as he continued drinking, he continued to get more complimentary, to where I started to get nervous.
Yeah, oh boy.
Be like, "Nate, you are awesome." Like, "Thank you, man." No, and like this is also like kind of, he's like taller and like a little buff, and his like really heavy arm is around me. I'm just like, "No, Nate, you are awesome." I'm just like, "Thanks, man." Another like 20, 30 minutes go by, and this is the guy. He's just like, if anyone is of legal age, there's that guy who's just like, "Dude, you gotta do a shot with me." And okay, there's that guy. Then there's the guy who's like, "Dude, you gotta do a shot with me." And you say no. And he's like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna do both shots then." And there's that guy. So 20, 30 minutes later, he's like, "Nate, you are so amazing." I'm like, "Thank you." He's like, "No, like, your voice is so good." He's like, "No, like, I like want to rip your throat in my neck so I can have your voice out." And I just look at him and I just think, "Oh my god, I might die tonight." I'm like, I'm trying to get murdered by this handsome fella. He's a handsome fella, by the way. But so the night keeps going on, and I also had a panel in the morning. And every other minute he was reminding me, he's like, "Nate, you got a panel tomorrow. 11:30 in the morning." I'm just like, "Yes, I do." And as the night went on, he was just like, "Nate, you've got a panel at 11:30 in the morning, okay?" And then it starts to get kind of late. It's like maybe like 1, 2 in the morning or whatever. He's like,
"Kind of late?"
Yeah. That is kind of late. Compared to how long the night lasted, that was kind of late.
Oh boy.
But it's like 1:30 in the morning. He goes, "Nate, listen, man, you gotta go to bed." Because you have a panel at 11:30 in the morning. I was like, "No, you," like, he was so concerned. "You gotta go to bed. Because you have a panel at 11:30. It keeps going. And then it's like 2:30 in the morning. He's like, listen, I don't want to sound like a naggy grandma.
Yeah.
But you gotta go to bed. Because you have a panel at 11:30. So I leave in one piece. Thank God. He leaves, everyone goes to their rooms. I go to my room, and I'm just kind of like, it was one of those nights I'm like, I'm really tired. And I think if I just go outside, get some air, clear my head, this is a long day, so I just wanted to like unwind by myself. So I walk around outside. I'm just like, it's nice out. It's a cool night. I'm just gonna walk around. And I see a couple other fans, and they walk up, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, Nate, what's going on, man?" It's not much. And when it's in a setting where it's like it's me and just like 1 or 2 other fans, it's just like, "Oh, I don't care. We can hang out." chit chat or whatever. They were asking YouTube advice, blah blah blah, standard stuff. And then these girls walk up.
Oh boy.
And they're not. Well, they're not. They're super. But they walk up and they just like walk up and stand next to these guys. And my assumption is just like, oh, okay, they have other friends here, cool, whatever. And then the guy that's talking to me, because it's me, it's a guy, and then a couple girls walk up. This guy looks at him and goes, "Can we help you?" I'm just like, he doesn't know. Who are these girls? And then she's like, "I'm sorry, we just really want to hang out with guys right now because there's this other guy walking around who like sounds like he's on stuff and he's really scary us and we don't feel safe." So up walks Stratton. And he like walks up. He sees the girls are. He already picks up what the girls are doing. They're trying to like escape him, and he's just like, "Fuck these chicks, man. Whatever." And he walks up to me and goes, "Nate! Oh my God! Why are you up?" He's like yelling at me. He's just like, "It is 3 in the morning." I'm like, "It's actually closer to 4. It's 4 in the morning. And you have a panel at 11:30. He missed the panel, by the way. He might have died. I'm not sure. But that is the story of the strangest man I ever met. Stratton and charmingly strange, horrifying human.
Yes.
Question right here.
If you could do a gaming collab with any YouTuber, who would you do it with?
Gaming YouTuber. Most of them I have done it with. I'm a big fan. Does everyone know Shady Penguin? A few people do. We've done a few videos together, and he's like one of my best friends. I love that guy so much. He is tall. It's freaking weird. First time I met him, I'm just like, why? He's like 6'3". I'm just like,
Jeez.
I was expecting like someone average height, but no, this small ass penguin walks in.
That's really tall.
Your
daddy's taller than that.
But no, he's a really good guy. He's a cool guy. I talk to him every day. We just chit chat about life. We're just like taxes and like rent and stuff. We're just like pro bonding over adult problems, and then we're just like video games and stuff. You know, we're just like adult problems. So, but I honestly would love the chance to do something with either Mark or the Grumps, because honestly, they're all really cool people. They're all really fun people, and like just to play games with them would be absolutely amazing. That'd be really fun for sure. And actually, yeah, that's the end of that. That's the end of the answer. So thank you. What's that?
That's right. Why did you settle on the name of NateWantsToBattle?
So.
Oh no, this is.
So one day I made a side channel called NateWantsToBattle. And then that one took off. And I'm like, crap. So this is a fun fact. NateWantsToBattle was not my first channel. It's not what I started on. I had a music channel where I was doing like serious music, if you want to say. I was doing covers of like top 40 stuff. I was like straight up covers, not like parodies, not rearranging lyrics or anything like that. It was just regular covers. Like, anybody watch like the regular YouTube musicians like Tyler Ward or Sam Shuey? People like that. I was doing stuff like that. And it was in that phase where I talked about where I was like, I'm doing what I think will do well, and not because I genuinely want to do it. And as a result, it reflected in my work. It kind of showed that I wasn't super passionate about what I was doing. I was just kind of doing something where I'm just like, well, they're doing it, and it's working out for them, so I'm going to do the same thing because I kind of know music, and maybe that'll work. And it went nowhere. It didn't really do anything. And then I had my side channel, which was the main channel now. It was just kind of my channel where I threw up whatever I wanted. If I wanted to vlog, I would throw it up there. If I wanted to throw up gaming stuff, I would throw it up there. And then one day, I got the idea to rewrite the lyrics to Maroon 5's Payphone about Pokemon. And then I'm just like, well, this is kind of not serious music, so I'll put it on my side channel. And then people watch that a lot. And now I'm just like, oh, that went kind of well. So I can have kind of like my main channel where I do my serious music, and then I do my side channel, which will be the fun music. And then eventually I kept focusing more on the fun music because I had more fun then one day, I rewrote the lyrics to the song Trouble by Taylor Swift about Pokemon. And it got on a little page called Pokememes. And my email started going crazy. And then people I hadn't spoken to in years messaged me and were just like, dude, you got Pokememes. I'm just like, cool.
Oh boy.
And I look and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess this is kind of like a site that some people go to. That's pretty neat. I wasn't super plugged into like memes and cheeseburgers. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. So it's like I don't know, a new ground or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, that's neat. And then the next day I looked at my analytics and it was basically like, congratulations, you have a job now. Okay, sure. Because it was just like, you know, you look at bar graphs and stuff, it was just like, oh, little ups and downs here, and then the day you got on Pokememes. I was like, whoa. I want to keep doing that. And there's lots of things that the channel knows NateWantsToBattle today, and then the other channel's long gone. Don't bother with it. Not. But yeah, so basically, the reason why I call it NateWantsToBattle is because like I saw other people had their little side channels, but they're just like they're fun names, like Dodger with Press Start to Continue had her side channel, which was like dexterity ball. So I'm just like, oh, I'll do a little kind of small reference or whatever. And then I made a Pokemon song, and then everyone's like, cool, you only do Pokemon videos, right? And I'm like, no, I don't. But that's the story of how that name came to be. It was kind of indirect and unexpected, but I mean, it's one of those things where like it's so heavily embedded in everyone's mind. It's like, this ain't one step. And it's like, all right, I'll run with it. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it was Who else has a question? Yes, right now.
What are your thoughts, expectations, and feelings on
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy.
Those teaser images are horrifying.
Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. I know.
Honestly, I was kind of expecting it to stay at a trilogy because the third ending has so much closure. And it was just like, this is a good place for it to stop. We had a great trilogy, we had a good run, it's a good complete story, and they're like, cool, we're gonna do another one. And it's like, okay. Oh, sure, why not? I mean, I guess if Warner is just like, hey, your stuff's good enough to make a movie out of, it's just like, do another then, why not? I think Scott always makes really unique, even before Five Nights, all his other stuff was good. So, I think it's gonna be good. Personally, 3 wasn't my jam. Like, it was cool, it was okay. I loved the lore behind it, the story and stuff, and the designs were awesome. But mechanics-wise, I'll always be partial to 2. Like, 2 will always be my favorite Five Nights. I actually, on my gaming channel, in a couple days, I'm gonna start going back to 2. I started doing a bunch of the challenge modes, which I didn't even know were a real thing for a while. But I did because before I had the Foxy mode, and I had the Cupcake challenge, I'm just like, I'm gonna re-upload these to the other channels, and then I'm gonna try and take a stab at all the other ones because it's a lot of fun. It's one of those things where it's like it's fun and people enjoy watching. So why not do more? So yeah, and as far as 4, I mean, obviously I was gonna play it. At this point, I don't have much of a choice, but I mean, I still want to. That's a big thing. You gotta want to do it. I wouldn't be like people assume that anyone who does Five Nights content, they're just like, oh, you're just in it for the views. And I'm just like, no, I actually like the game. I don't see a problem with that. It's one of those things where it's like, if you like the game, by all means make stuff about it. If you don't, and you're making content that isn't talking about like the game, then it's one of those things where it's like, just don't do it. But I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be fun. I'm very interested in what the game mechanics are going to be because they change so drastically every time. So hopefully it'll be good. It's going to be scary as all hell because now they added like 2 more rows of teeth to everything.
Yeah.
It's like, was it me? And I'm like, I don't know, probably. You would know more than me, buddy. Another question. Yes, right here.
What do you think that Five Nights will come on October 31st?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be early again because Scott gets super trigger happy with the existing game. Wasn't 2 was supposed to come out
in like November.
So it was just like, yeah, it's like October. I feel like his dates are like, it will be October 31st. Almost like before. But I mean, for all I know, I'm sure the game's like almost done now. But it's just like, yeah, I can wait it out. What's a four-parter called? A quadrilogy?
Quadrilogy, that makes sense.
Quadrilogy? That's a real word?
Wow.
Yes.
I love that word. Yeah, quadrilogy in less than a year is probably a little much. I think it'll be that day. Who else has a question?
Yes. Your scheduling for your videos. How hard are
In regards to the move going on, because that has been a nightmare. Because it's basically like I have about a month to record 3 months worth of videos. So I'm just like, but everything's basically already done. Everything else that needs to be done is stuff that like other people are working on. So I'm just waiting for them to get back to me, which I don't. All I need is internet access to do that. But the lyric video for the new 5 Night song is almost done, which I'm really excited for. He actually sent me the first minute of it a couple days ago. It looks really cool. It's the same guy who's done like. Has everyone seen like the 3D animated lyric videos I've been putting up, like Sword Art, Parasite, and all that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. He like remade the Five Nights 3 environments, but like a lot of people just use like Source Filmmaker, which is basically just like take stuff off of Steam and use that. He's like remaking all the environments from scratch, so they look a lot more like authentic and a lot more like creepy and stuff. And it looks really cool. So I think that one's gonna be really cool. And then I'm also doing a lot of stuff. I actually got the final mix back for my cover of I Can't Wait to Be King from The Lion King. I'm really excited for. The reason why I'm doing that song is because there's my buddy Shady Favorite. He's doing a Let's Play of Lion King for Sega Genesis.
Oh my gosh.
It was the really chippy version of I Can't Wait to Be King, and he was just singing along. He's just like stuff like that. And he's just like singing along, and he just like not like subconsciously just like nature covered this song. And he just kept playing, and I'm just like, okay. So then the same day in like one sitting, I just tracked out all the drums, recorded all the guitars, recorded the vocals, sent it off, and 2 days later it was done. He's like, how did you do that so fast? And I'm just like, I don't know, I just tunnel vision. Got into it. But I'm really stoked on that one. I think that one. I wish there was an audio stuff, like play some of this stuff. But they're just like, there's no money, there's no audio. I'm just like, cool stuff. They're not really people. And I just have my phone. So you guys have to wait. So I'm sorry. But also, the other thing I'm excited I'm working on. Has anyone ever seen a YouTube comedy musician known as Steve Carey? No one. Has anyone ever seen a video called Super Mario Jet? Where it's a Super Mario thing, but it's like really, really, really metal. I haven't seen that. Gotcha. You guys need to check him out. He's very talented. He's super hilarious. And we are doing a metal cover of the Team Rocket. The best part is the part where he drops into the bass with just like this. And we got to make that groove, so it was like. Yes! Nice! And it's another video where I get to goof around dressed up as a rocket. Yes! That'll be cool. So, what spawned it? What was the question? Very sorry. I just can't do it off and down. I'm doing this and I'm doing this. Oh, it was scheduling. Right. So scheduling is going good. For my gaming channel, I have stuff going up every day until mid-June. So for another month. And then for the music channel, I have stuff going up twice a week until late June. So got all the scheduling done, basically for the most part, so that once we make the move, I get set up. It's not like it's like, okay, I'm gonna disappear off YouTube for 2 weeks and not upload anything. So bye guys. I'm like, no one's gonna see a transition in upload. It's gonna be completely seamless. One day it's just gonna be like, oh, when did you go to a new place? It'll be like a month ago. So it's going really well. Very excited. Who else has a question? Right here.
Yes!
He's probably my favorite. He is awesome. The Kingdom Hearts song is, it's kind of written, because like the way I do a lot of my like gaming or like anime or whatever songs, it's kind of written from the perspective of a character, while this one, it's more or less from the perspective of all three of them. It's kind of, it's basically about like how, just like being told they're nobodies and like this is what you're meant to do. Like I took them being literally told that they're nobodies and kind of turned it around into like a metaphor. And it's just kind of like, just because people tell you you're nobody, it doesn't mean you have to. You can like, it's just like, we don't have memories or feelings and stuff. It's like, well, that's not necessarily true. You do what you want to do, and you can't just go by what you're told because it's not always what's going to be right. And it was kind of written from that perspective. So I have a ton of feels. 58 by 58. It's just like, that's why I like saw this. I'm just like, oh my gosh, ice cream.
Yeah, what?
He'd be really cool. Also, something I wanted to do for does everyone know of a holiday themed convention here in Orlando called Holiday Monster?
Yes.
I'm going to
Everyone's I'll be there, so we're going. So, it'll be a lot of fun. That's kind of the Florida con that me and Dookie always kind of really look forward to. We were just having we were just talking about the plans. So excited, it's gonna be fun. But something I want to do specifically for that, because it's a holiday themed cosplay, is I wanted to do Santa Claus Mistigan from Fairy Tale.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wanted to have blue hair and like the marking, but instead of like the crazy like outfit or whatever, it would just be like the Santa hat and the Santa get up. And instead of like a big wand, it would be like a big candy cane.
Nice.
It's something I meant to do last year, but I just ran out of time and couldn't do it. And especially since I'm flying to it this year, I don't know if I can do all that stuff, so it bumps me out that I probably won't be able to do it. Because the only cosplay I've ever done was a cosplay second breed from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But best character right there. Because you just got all kinds of awesome stuff. People in that room probably already seen it. But that was the only cosplay I've done. And it's so time consuming. And it's not like my main thing I do. And like, I'm always like, if I'm gonna cosplay, I wanna do it right. I wanna go all out with like budget, and also like, if my character has a certain physique, I wanna like get a workout and diet regimen that'll get me closer to that. And it's one of those things where you really have to dedicate yourself full time to want to be that good at it. Because my thing is like, I don't ever want to like half-ass anything, I don't want to be like, I just whipped up a cosplay. I want to be good. You really have to dedicate more time than I have to do. So maybe one day in the future. Now, not much. Thank you. What's up? Yes. Like software? For software, I edit in a program called Final Cut Pro 7 because I am a Mac user just for creative stuff. For gaming, it's always PC Master Race, obviously.
Yes.
For like videos and music, I use a lot of Mac-related software. And yeah, a lot of Mac-related software. I feel like it's a lot better for creative process because it's a lot more. It's not that there's more options, but it has interfaces that are like a lot quicker to adapt to. There's a lot of stuff where you can just kind of open it up and just start doing stuff straight away, rather than be like, how do I get this to go into there? Because I take this and I put it here, and it's giving me that X thing, so it's like I can't do that. So what do I do? Whereas like a lot of Mac stuff is just like, just drag and drop, we'll do the work for you. It's like, cool! People do work for me. It's great. Right on.
All good choices.
Very good. That's awesome, man. Yeah, for like, so I'm guessing like video game stuff specifically, definitely a lot of PC stuff. Find yourself a decent webcam, find yourself a good screen recorder, and then that's plenty to work on from there. And it's one of those things where you start off doing stuff one way, and like every other week I find something else I tweak with all my settings. I'm just like, this is a little better than what I usually do, so I'm gonna start using that. This is better than what I usually do, so I'm gonna start doing that. And it's something that just it gradually increases your quality and like makes everything easier. So just take what you know and then just tweak it a little bit and see if it's better actually it's kind of like a philosophy with like filming and photography. Like something one person who does a lot of filming was just like, you know, take the setup you're used to doing, and then take a test shot, and then tweak one thing, and see if you like it better or worse than your first test shot. If it's better, then you found a new setting to always use. If it's worse, then just go back to what you used to. And it's one of those things where like you can either stick with what you know or just gradually up it a little bit. And that applies to like anything. So definitely. Yes. It will. Again, this is all personal preference. A lot of people are like, I like PC for everything. I like Mac for everything. But he mentioned Mark and Jack. So I'm guessing you want to do some like Let's Play related content. In which case, definitely go with PC because there's way more options for gaming and recording and stuff.
Is there any kind of different like upgrades needs or any kind of sound things or anything like that? Or is it just a regular PC and then going up the
You can like start with a regular PC. It's one of those things where like people who try to go into YouTube full time before it actually is full time are the ones who usually drop out of doing it. Because like a lot of people make that, I don't want to call it a mistake, but they make that mistake. But it's one of those things where like it's something that should just start out as a hobby. Granted, I'm guessing he doesn't have a full time job. So he probably has plenty of time to do this all the time. But a lot of people are just like, I'm going to quit my job and do YouTube full time. It's like, cool. Are you doing YouTube all the time now? No. It's like, well, that's going to suck when rent comes around. So it's one of those things where it also has to do with investing in equipment. Like, start with like low-end cheap stuff just to see if like, you even likes it. Because a lot of people drop a ton of money on really great gear that I wish I had. And then they're just like, I don't really like this. So now I'm stuck with all this stuff. So it's one of those things where you kind of start low, see if this is something you really, really, really want to do, and if it turns into something bigger, then you upgrade. It's kind of like if someone wants to learn piano, you don't go out and buy a baby grand that's worth more than a car. You start off with buying like $100 keyboard, and you just play around with that. If that gets better, you buy like an electric piano, just like maybe a couple hundred. If he's like, you know, full-blown Bach prodigy, then yeah, maybe it's time to get that baby grand. So it's one of those things. So start low, build up. How much time have we got? Oh, we got 9 minutes. I used to use GarageBand, actually. My first, like, probably 5 parodies. Gary Oak, definitely was GarageBand.
Yeah.
I'm at Center was GarageBand. My first couple Minecraft videos were GarageBand. And again, it's not a horrible program. A lot of people assume, like, oh, because this is the free one that comes with the computer, it's bad. It's like, it's one of those things where essentially, like, all music software, like, kind of does the same thing. It just depends on what caliber. So that it applies to software too. It's like, if you want to do music, start off on like something like GarageBand or Audacity. If eventually you get really, really good and you outgrow what it's capable of, then it's time to maybe grab like the $50 program rather than a free one. Just keep building up. So GarageBand by no means is a bad program. It's awesome to start with because it's really, really easy to use. Just like hop in and start recording stuff, just to see if it's really something that you're into. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? You guys want to see my gaming haul that I got? Yeah! Check this out. We got Pokemon XD Gale Gun.
Yeah!
That's not the big one.
Oh boy.
The gold cartridge for Zelda 2: The Adventure.
Nice!
That's not the big one. We got in-box gold cartridge of the first level.
Oh!
I'm just like, I actually have a gold Legend of Zelda 1, but it has like a giant crack in the back. I was like, hey.
How much did you pay for that?
I got Metroid or something. I don't know.
She has a question.
Samus was a man.
Samus was
Samus was a kid.
Yeah.
It's got all kinds of senses. Yes.
How much did you pay for the original Zelda in the gold box?
I think I talked you down to 40.
Oh my god.
Really, I paid a lot for that game.
Oh, good lord.
I thought it was pretty good.
That's really good.
That's beyond amazing because that is like a $400 and something game if you try to get it anywhere else.
It's probably that much if it's sealed. Like it's open, but
Mm-mm.
he looked it up. He was like, "This goes for 40, 70, 50. I'll do it for 40." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And also, well, he also had a buy two get one deal. So then I just bought the Yellow Darkness, which was 30 something, and then it was on the street. So it was like $80 for all of it. So it's like something.
I ought to buy it from him and take it back to Tennessee and resell it because it
We got a few
will.
more minutes. I haven't gotten. YouTube musicians. All the ones I really want to collab with, I've already talked to about collabing, and they've said yes. We've just been very busy. One person I really like is anyone heard of a channel called Ruby?
Yes!
Ruby. Yeah. I've been talking to him a lot. He's a fantastic producer. His 5 Night song is my favorite all the time. I just listen to that. It's one of those things where, as like anyone who does something creative, like being a musician, you listen to a song. There are songs you're like, that's good, yeah, that's really good. Then you listen to a song that pisses you off because you didn't write it. I wish I had done that, and that's how his 5 Night song is to me. I listen, I'm just like, GG. A couple of the other 5 Nights musician people, I've been talking a lot to Pony. It's gonna be a 2-minute game to Philadelphia. I'm really trying to coordinate doing a song together live. But we've been talking about doing it. It's one of those things where we're just like, yeah, we'll do the song when we have time. But the original thing, and we just ran out of time to do this, was me, Panda Pony, and the Living Tombstone. We were gonna do a 5 Nights 3 song, but that just kind of fell through. We were all one big one. It was gonna be so awesome, but we all just like, he's doing a ton of cons, I'm doing a ton of cons, and Panda Pony lives in like Alaska or something. He's barely like, even has internet. But, yeah, we're definitely gonna collab with all those people, like singers. One thing I have in the works for like video, there's a violin musician called Taylor Davis. Has everyone seen her? She does like a lot of video game violin covers. We're gonna do Zinnia's theme for Pokemon Mega Sound. It's funny because like I've always wanted to collab with her. I'm always like, she's really good. I would love to do Zinnia's theme with her. And then like a week later, like her network got in touch with me. It's like, she wants to do a song with you. I'm like, okay. But yeah, all the YouTube musicians that I like really look up to, because like I'm more partial to like the nerdy musicians and stuff like that. They're all, it's crazy because they're all people who are like a year ago weren't attainable to even talk to me because I was like kind of small back then. But now it's just, these are people who I can like reach out to and be like, hey, let's do a song. It's like, okay, cool. I know, I feel bad because I was supposed to record a while ago something for, there's a YouTube nerd rapper called Gamble. I think I'm gonna record a chorus for his song about hating pre-ordering games.
Nice.
I need to try and knock that out for him. But he's really another person. I've listened to his stuff forever. And then one day I get a tweet, he's like, hey, I just found out about your music. I'm like what you do, only I do rap. And I'm just like, I know. And I was just like, yeah, cool, man. Right out there. So I'm just like, so funny because these are all people I started out with that like I've started as a fan. They've been doing it forever. Do that. Hold on. They're all people who I started off and I'm just fans of these people. I don't want to try and do what they do. And it's grown to a point where like I get to like talk with these people now and just be like, hey, let's work on something sometime. And it's something that really shows you, which is something I love about YouTube, is it's one of those things where like if you're a musician and you're just like in a band or you're doing whatever and you look up to like these bigger artists, you're just like, oh man, you're so great. They'll never ever know who I am and I'll never be able to interact with them. I'll always be a fan of them. But the thing I love about YouTube is that it's a platform where it's not a record label that determines, how well you do. It's not like, like crazy tour dates that determine how well like, hey Nate, why don't you sign like with a label? Like, why don't you like do stuff professionally? I'm like, because I would make less than I do now because I do everything myself. So, and I enjoy what I do more because they want me to do like serious music. I want to be able to write songs about stuff I like doing, like video games and anime and stuff. And what I was saying, the thing I love about YouTube is like you can start out as like a fan and like you just continuously, consistently build yourself up for all you know. Like in a couple of years, you could be going to LA and like visiting their offices. And I'm like, it's one of those things where like inside, I was like fanboying so hard when I went to the Game Grumps office. But like, I'm just like playing going, it's like, oh hey, Aaron, nice to meet you, man. How's it going? Whatever. It's like, oh look, Mark's there, Susan's there, and stuff like that. And it was really cool. And like, I was okay. Like inside, I was like really stoked. I was excited. And then the guy who I was staying with, who brought me there, looked at me. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, your face is completely flush right now. And I was just like, I'm like physically family, trying to hold it in. Like you can these people you look up to, you can grow yourself to eventually just like work with them and talk with them and just kind of be on maybe not the exact same plane as them, but you can like I don't know, get to a point where they're reasonable to talk to and stuff like that. So that's what I really like about it. So that's one of the coolest parts about this. We got time for one more. Who's got before you ask, who's got what we can do one, like who's got that kicker closeout question, or we can lightning round it. Okay, that's not a question. Okay. I don't think there's enough questions for a lightning round. So who has a question that they feel is strong enough to close out? You look like
That's all the first cute fingers. Oh yeah.
Fingers.
for what I do, I think I use my fingers more, so probably fingers. That's weird. Who's got one more question? I haven't got one for me.
What was the funniest moment like when you're recording videos?
Funniest moment recording anything, I would say it wasn't for video, it was for voicing stuff. Because I've been doing a little more voicing stuff. And has anyone heard of a game? It was a Kickstarter back game called Heroes Never Lose. It's
Yes.
I'm going to be playing the role of Pronto in Heroes Never Lose. He is I asked them if there was something to audition for, and there was this one character that they're like, yeah, here's the card for him. And they're just like, it's like delivery guy. They're like obnoxious, high-pitched New York fake Italian accent. Yeah. I was just like, I do that all the time to annoy people, so I guess I could try it out. And I sent them that. It's funny because I tweeted this. I'm like, this is the voice I do to bother my friends all the time. So I'm just like, I'm just going to be obnoxious and record these lines, and I send it in. And he gets back to me like a couple weeks later. He's like, dude, this was great. This is perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. And I'm like, hey, all right. It was when I recorded the final lines for Pronto. Because like some of the stuff is like some of his attacks are just like delivery charge. And it's just it was just like at the end of it, I was just like, that was absolutely ridiculous. It was so much fun. So I'm really excited for that to come out. The game, I don't think it's out yet. Well, whenever it comes out, keep looking for it. Heroes Never Lose. Plays Pronto.